Hey everyone, I got an iPhone 6 here. It's been long screw damaged. Somebody else has already tried to fix it. And my mission here today is to get it to turn on well enough so that they can recover their data. Let's get the screws out of this thing. Dun, 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 dun. Ta-da. This is a phone that came in. It had been to another shop. They did not mention anything about trying to fix long screw damage themselves. The other shop looked at it and said that this is going to need to be sent off for repair. I did not realize that it was a prior long screw damage attempt until I took the screen out of it. I looked at it real good under the microscope, and I decided that I was unwilling to fix this one, and I'm gonna show you why. And what I did is I sent them a message and I said, hey, this is really bad. This is not what we agreed on, and said that I'd be willing to get it working good enough so that you're able to trust the PC and back up your data, but I am not willing to fix every last feature of this phone. So let's go ahead and get the screen unhooked from it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery, as I should have done first. And let me show you what it looks like under the microscope. Alright, so here we are under the microscope. We're going to focus this up nice and pretty so that you can all see the beauty that is the prior repair attempt on long screw damage. Now, I'm going to talk just for a second about what I see here and why it is that I said no way in. Hello, Mom. Let's look and see here. We got over here. We've got some things. All right. We're going to have a severed chestnut enable line that's normally across here. I know that we're going to have LCM reset is bonked, but really, what turns me off about this is that a lot of the traces that I see here are on the third layer. Like, this thing has had the first and second layer like just scraped out of this thing. Looks like with maybe a blunt Phillips head screwdriver. And I fix a lot of long screw damage now, guys. I should do a video on the way I do them now. This is god awful shit, and I'm going to show you how it is that I'm going to fix it. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to get this working good enough so that he has working image, touch, and USB so that he can get this hooked up to a computer and back up his stuff. So I'm going to show you how it is that I fix this. We're going to meditate over it. We're going to sprinkle solder balls over it like that, and it's fixed. I'm just kidding. Let's go ahead and take the board out of this. Here's my hands. I could probably do this one without removing the board, but I'm going to go ahead and remove the board just because this is the way I always do it. Get this bracket out of the way. Let's remove this crazy antenna. Autofocus. Okay. I'm going to leave as much of this repair unedited as possible because editing takes god-awful amounts of time, and I don't have a whole lot of time for editing at the moment. I'm backed up by, a little more than 70 phones. So I'm very limited as to how deep I am able to go into some of these. And when they look like this, and there is a significant chance that I could get dug into this and work on it all day and still wind up with something goofy that doesn't work, it's just not practical. You cannot charge the amount of money that you would need to survive whenever somebody has done this to a phone. Long screw damage, yes, send me all your long screw damage. Prior repair attempt long screw damage? No way. Not like this. Maybe a little bit. Maybe if they'd removed the screw hole and scratched around on it a little bit, yeah, then maybe. But whenever they have removed the screw hole and dug down to the third layer, no way. This thing is going to have screwed up volume up and down buttons, screwed up Wi-Fi, screwed up strobe. It will have, at the very least, no image, and I haven't even tested it yet because I know it's not going to get image. Let's go ahead, and even though it's not important, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the sticker from the bottom. And let me just reiterate this, or can I say that? Reiterate, there we go. This is a data recovery mission. And I see other things here that sort of turn me off about this repair. See the crack here alongside this bracket? See that there's likely to be other shit wrong with this phone. We don't know exactly why it was long screw damaged. We just know that it was long screw damaged. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to make this a little easier on myself. I'm going to get the shield out of the way. Don't make fun of my hot air now. I love this thing. This thing is going on its second year of service, and it is a workhorse. I paid 130 bucks for it. Links in the description. Okay, I'm going to set my air on 390C, and I imagine the shield will just pretty much fall off of this thing because somebody else is already... Oh man, I hope there's nothing wrong with the CPU. I haven't even verified what will happen if I power this thing up. I know it's not going to get an image. Like, damn sure not going to get an image. Okay. Now let's start poking around at this thing. I could probably jumper some stuff in here and avoid myself a whole lot of headaches. But let's just see what we're up against. I'm going to get some alcohol on it so that I can hopefully see this a little better. Geez, what a mess. Alright, so let's trim back just a little bit farther here. We're not going to be worried about the ear speaker there because I'm not fixing this phone. Brush blade! Brush blade! Okay. Let's see what I've got here that I can salvage. Man, these are so much easier whenever you're the first one. It sucks being last. If you ain't first, you're last. Unless you don't do a good job, then somebody else might get to be last. Alright, I think this is all too deep right here. I think this is all too deep to be second layer. I mean, maybe it is. I'm not even really sure what I'm looking at right now. I know that these going through here, these are third layer. So I have to assume that these other ones here are also third layer. Right? If that's the case, I should be able to find LCM reset laying around here somewhere. Or not. Dude, LCM reset's gone. Like, where the fuck is LCM reset? Alright, let's go back fuzz farther here. Oh look, they left me some flux. Okay, so there's the top layer off. Let's go ahead and take the next layer of ground plane up here. Okay. There's LCM reset. This is where its little via normally sits. And that's our trace for it. Okay, so here's LCM reset. Am I even getting any of this? This might be a horrible video. If it is, I'm sorry. I'll probably post it anyway. I've done enough of these now that I know that this is going to end in success. It's sort of why I'm recording a video on it. Okay, so clean some of this here back. I highly doubt that this one is going to have touch whenever I'm done with it, so we're going to have to address touch. Make sure nothing's shorting here. Oh man, this is a mess. I have no problem fixing long screw damage now, guys. So if you are somebody in the past that I said no to because you had severe long screw damage, I apologize. There are still some that I would turn away now, but for the most part, long screw damage is pretty well routine. And after you've been shit on by enough iPhone 7s and boot looping problems, you will begin to welcome long screw damage repair, because you can look at it and say, hey look, that shit's broken. And then you can fix it. Okay, so we have exposed LCM reset up there. Also exposed my cheap alcohol. You can see the little white residue. I'll blame that on the previous tech. Okay. So yeah, this is all third layer shit exposed here. Can I fix it? Yeah, if I wanted to sit here and spend a day for maybe, yeah, maybe. But I'm not going to do that. Okay. So now we're going to dig around here and we're going to try to find where Chestnut and Able is supposed to hook up. This is third layer ground plane here. Chestnut and Able is easy to find, guys. I mean, it's just like, hey, there's Chestnut and Able. But when they look like this, what the hell? Like, okay. Is this the third layer trace for Chestnut and Able coming down here? And it comes down. And hits this. Okay. I'm going to set my multimeter to beep. Beep, beep, beep. Okay. And I'm going to put one probe on what I believe to be this third layer Chestnut and Able trace. We get a beep. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is one of these lines over here, it's normally really easy to spot. One of these lines over here is for Chestnut and Able. Okay. And I don't know which one it is because this board has been mutilated. Normally you can just follow it right out there to Chestnut and Able. It's most likely this one here, but I'm not completely sure about that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to load up EasyDraw, and I'm going to zoom in on the connector. Don't steal my EasyDraw username now. Now everybody knows my EasyDraw username. Oh no, they know my EasyDraw username. Come on, I don't have all day. I need image, touch, and USB for this very nice customer. Okay, so we're going to drill down here. We're going to open up an iPhone 6. Okay, so here we are at the iPhone 6. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to find the Chestnut and Able pin, and we're going to see exactly which one that is. So here we have Chestnut, Power, and Able, and if we count, it's from the bottom. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's the 8th pin up. So switching back over here under the microscope, I'm going to put one probe on the 8th pin up. So we're going to do, time to readjust my microscope. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here's chestnut and navel here. Now I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to see which trace this is. Okay. Checking the first one here. Not. Next one. Not. Uh-oh. I didn't get any. Did I miss something here? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Okay. Okay, which one is that? The middle one, right? Okay, so I've now confirmed that our middle one here, this one is chestnut and navel. Okay, now let's see if we can find LCM reset. LCM reset is probably a little bit farther up under here. Let's dig a little farther because I don't have confidence that this is not broken. You can fix a lot of stuff, but really you have to draw your own lines. Okay, for LCM reset, I am probably just going to run a wire from the connector. Okay, because this will be, it will be on the first layer here. But this is really wadded up, man. Okay, and see over here we've got lines for strobe, and we've got other stuff. And when I do a long screw damage job, I'm used to just counting the traces, and you got, you know, the same amount of connections on this side compared to this side, but on this I don't have shit to go by. I mean, maybe that one's LCM reset, but I really don't think so. I thought we had one more above it. Let's go ahead and check and see if that one's LCM reset. I think it'd be easier just to run a wire. So I'm going to put my black probe here on LCM reset, which by the way is the next pin up right here. Okay. And then I'm going to take my red probe down here, and I'm going to check this trace here. I don't think that's LCM reset. Wait, it is LCM reset. Huh, shit on me. Alright. So let's move forward with getting an image on this phone, and I might be able to do it without running wires all the way across the whole entire world. Get the fuck out of here, front camera. We don't need you here, or whatever that is. Ear speakers, something, or microphone, something or other. You're never going to talk on the phone again. God, what a mess. Alright, so now we have found, we have LCM reset here on this side. Okay, we have LCM reset up here, so we know we're going to run a wire from here to here. We know that this is chestnut enable. No wait, that's not chestnut enable. Okay, This is that other wire that I was. Okay, let's just ignore that. Okay, so we have LCM reset here. We have chestnut enable here. We're going to ignore these other traces. They are for things like ambient light sensor, strobe, flash. You know, we don't need that stuff. All right, so down here we do have a line that we're going to need for image. These two bottom big traces, these are pertaining to strobe and flash. We're not going to be worried about those, but we are going to need a line here for 5.7 volts. This is one of our chestnut supply lines, and it's going to run from here over to here, and hopefully this is connected down inside the PCB. All right, so let's strip this off. Okay, so let's get this started. I'm going to be using iPhone ear speaker wire. I don't know what model this is. I just picked up an ear speaker the other day and snatched one. Snatched me up some wire here. I know it seems to be smaller than the smallest wire that I've been able to buy, but I haven't tried to buy much wire just because an ear speaker lasts me a long time. Okay, so let's get a good amount of wire here. Okay. Let's use the CPU as a cutting board. I'm just kidding. Let's just use one of these coils. Troll on. Alright, let's move this wire out of the way. We don't have much to work with over here, so I think I'm going to start my trace on this side. I'm going to do LCM reset first. Okay, we're going to connect LCM reset right there. God help me it don't break off. Okay. Let's put some flux down. Time to open my new tube of flux, right? Tin our wire a little bit. I'm not used to coming at this angle. I normally do LCM reset on the other end first. Okay, we've got some tin on our trace. I'm going to zoom in a little farther so maybe you'll be able to see this better. There we go. Oh, what am I doing? Luck shot. I should come at that from the other direction. That was really really bad. Alright, so yeah, I got it anyway, so don't make fun of me, damn it. Now we're gonna take our little crazy small wire here. Data getter. Alright, we're going to solder it right there. So let's get some flux over there. Be sure and blob solder fucking everywhere like I just did on the first side of this wire. Alright, we're going to tin up the wire, tin up the trace, and we're going to nudge it right on over there like that. Alright, so now we have an LCM reset connection here. Right? A lucky one. Let's trim this off. Da, da, da. Yes, this needs sent in for long screw damage repair. Love you guys. Thanks for the business, but this stopped being a long screw damage repair when you made it into the third layer. Alright, so we decided to skip one, two, skip a few, 99, 100, right? So we're going to skip a trace here and solder this to the next trace. Right now we're hooking up chestnut enable. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this the way I'm used to it. If I can. I don't think I can. Maybe I can get it from the bottom? Let's try that. Let's try go from the bottom up. I just know there's a slim chance in hell at me being able to hold this like I did earlier and get over the top of all that with my iron and not make another huge mess. Alright, so let's get in there just like that. Okay. Why do I nitpick? It was fine the first time, and then I almost messed it up releasing my tweezers. Okay. Now, in an effort to try not to let this thing get so hot that it detaches, I'm not going to make this wire straight. I'm going to sort of come around, I'm going to hoop it around, and then I'm going to come back to our chestnut enable nub here. And I'm doing that to give me a little bit more of a heat sink in my wire. Because when I solder this down, I don't want it to accidentally unsolder it from the tiny little trace that I just soldered to. So a little bit more wire there. Okay, and then we're going to try to solder this right down to this via. And a little more flux on that. My nerves have been on point since we moved to Florida. I don't know what it is. It's like it seemed more relaxed. But something about starting a video, the record button, it makes me have a little bit of a jitter. Geez, that just looks awful. Must be the other tech's fault. No, don't solder the ground, motherfucker. We don't want to take and ground chestnut enable. Alright, and then the next thing I'm going to hook up here, it's going to be one of our 5v7 lines. Now, I'm going to take just a quick second to pause because I know a lot of you are watching this channel just to learn. Some of you are watching this channel to watch me screw up because you know exactly what you're doing. And for those of you that are watching this to learn, I'm going to open up ZXW tool here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the iPhone 6 board view file here for long screw damage. And if we do that, I can show you exactly what traces, that's the wrong one. I can show you what traces that it is that I'm after over here. And they're not all here, only the first layer is here. But basically, I am reconnecting LCM reset because we're going to need that for image. We need this chestnut enable line for image. We do not need this line here for the ambient light sensor. We do not need this line here for the rear camera strobe. We don't need this line here for this. We don't need we don't need rear camera. The strobe. We don't need any of this stuff for flash. We don't need that. We do need this 5v7 line, but we don't need power to the LED on the back. ZXW tool does not get into the third layer traces that you see underneath here going the other way. There are traces going all over the place here, and that's because this board has been dug all the way down to the third layer. I don't get into third layer damage on bottom left hole iPhone 6 long screw damage all that often. I do wind up getting into, and we're probably going to have to address this. This over here is our HIFA B-Sync line for touch. Okay, and if I check it with diode mode to check and see if it has a good reading, it typically will test good, and it will also test good out here at the connector, even if we've got a broken connection. So we've got enough stuff on both sides of that circuit that if it's broken, you can get good readings but still have no touch. So we're gonna see if this one is able to get touch and then address it. I'm not going to do any checking or anything. I'm just going to try it and see if we get touch. Okay, so we've got LCM reset hooked up. We've got chestnut enable hooked up. Let's go ahead and get power for this 5V7 line hooked up. And for that, I'm going to use a tiny bit thicker wire. Probably not necessary, but I'm going to anyways. Okay. That's what you got to do, folks. Sprinkle solder balls all over them. Put it in a toaster oven with rice, and your long screw damage will be fixed. All right, so let's tin our wire. Yeah. Got it? I was hoping the next long screw damage video I posted would actually show a little bit of skill instead of a bunch of luck shots. Jeez. I've been fixing a bunch of these. I'm here to tell you, with some of the crap that I've been getting into on the iPhone 7, I've been begging for iPhone 6 long screw damage. Okay, so we're going to solder that right there. I did post a bit of an unnarrated, unedited long screw damage video to the STS Telecom Facebook page. Feel free to drop me a like there, and once in a while I post stuff there. It was an okay video. It was a little bit shaky. I was doing a long screw damage repair and I just started the camera. Okay, so that's got power to the display. Well, in theory, it's got power to the display. Now, because this looks like a mutilated pile of garbage, I'm going to jump out here to the connector, and I'm going to check for resistance mode measurements to ground to be sure that none of the stuff that I just hooked up is shorted. So I'm going to put one probe in the screw hole, and perverts, get your minds out of the gutter. And we're going to check chestnut enable. I get 800 mega big ones, so that's not shorted. We're going to check LCM reset, and I get 100,000 big ones, so that one's not shorted. Now, in theory, this phone should now get an image. Let's remove some of these Q-tip fibers, although I'm not plugging anything into that just yet anyways. Really a crappy looking repair over here, but whatever, this is data. Okay, so let's put it in a housing, shall we? We're going to drop this right into the customer's housing. Now, we still don't know exactly why this is here. This is the original Apple screen. Okay, the screen has not been replaced that I can tell. I mean, it looks pretty authentic, other than the camera is a little bit off to the side. I'm not going to put any forth real effort to show you that. Okay, we're going to hook up touch. Let's go ahead and hook up back camera just so it doesn't short anything out. And we're going to hook up the LCM. So we've got display, we've got touch. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the dock flex, because what if this was a dock flex failure or TriStar failure? It does have an aftermarket battery. And I am going to use a power supply. So we're going to hook up our green probe here. And see if we get an image. So the power supply is on. We're drawing 0.00 amps at 4.2 volts. I'm going to push the button. 100 milliamps. 170. Yay, we get backlight and image. Yay! But am I going to pound my head against the wall to try to solve the back flashlight and all this other stuff? Long screw damage, yes. Prior long screw damage attempt with third layer grindage? No. I'll be surprised if we get touched. I will be really surprised if HIFA B-Sync does not need some attention. let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky. We're up to a passcode screen, and we got things dinging in. And hook up a home button. Okay, jeez. Dear God Almighty. Alright, so here we are at a lock screen, and we do have working touch. It is a freaking miracle. Let's see if we get current draw on USB, because I still don't know why this phone was open to begin with. And we've got current draw from a USB meter. The phone registers that it is connected, and this is going to be a successful repair for data recovery. Let me talk for just a minute what I would need to do to fully repair this phone. Okay, watch me trick myself into doing it, and I'm not. I am way too backed up, and this is a nightmare. We would need to go ahead and trim back under here farther to expose the traces going here to the strobe driver. That is not too bad. We would need to jumper traces out here for Wi-Fi, front camera, I'm sorry, Wi-Fi, volume up and volume down buttons, which, since we're already tore back this far, those traces are actually going to be underneath the supply lines here for strobe, which you can see these are broken loose. See it squishing when I push on it? I mean, this one is an absolute monumental disaster, and it's actually caused by the prior, well, I can't say it's caused by the prior attempt, but being that it is already, I'm going to scrape this away a little bit and show you this. So here we have traces for the volume up, volume down, and Wi-Fi. That are all broken, okay? And they're actually broken and stripped back underneath these lines, okay, for image power, or for the strobe. So to fully repair this, I'm looking at repairing the third layer traces here, rebuilding this second layer on top of those, and it's just, this gets into a lot of work, guys. And for an iPhone 6, it is more than I'm willing to do for something that may not be completely fully functional when I'm done with it. Guys, that is going to be it for this video. I do thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have successful repairs, and I hope you make tons of money doing this, and let's see. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you next time. Have a good day.